All right. Hi there. My name is Charlie DeShulo, aka DJ Cheddar, and I'm with.
Ghais Guevara.
So you produce as well as rap, correct?
Yeah.
So which came first, the rapping or the producing?
The rapping. Definitely the
Yeah.
rapping. Yeah.
Which do you prefer now?
Probably still the rapping, but I love producing. I love making beats. I don't know. It's like asking me what my favorite child is. You know what I mean? I don't really know.
No, that's valid, man. So how long have you been rapping for?
Uh, Probably since high school. I mean, it's always starts out as like freestyling at like lunch tables.
So when did you start producing?
Um, I think around high school, I had a little Chromebook when I was about 15, 16. I used to try to do things on there. Sounds
Nice,
about right.
man. Nice. Uh, so what got you really into making music?
Um, I don't even know. I mean, like everybody wants to make music, but like it's kind of like the first thing that I sat down and tried, and I was like, "Yo, I'm actually good at this." You know what I mean? Like, everything else I had to work hard to be good at. Like, well, the earliest available music I got out is the Million Melanin Share You from Ragnarok, John. But I got stuff from way earlier than that. So
Is it still
yeah.
out? Is it under a different name? Did you scrub it from?
Yeah, I scrubbed it from existence. That was embarrassing. So
How have you grown the most since that earlier stuff?
it's a good question. Definitely I've gotten more, what's the word? I guess complex lyrically. I've been spending more and more time on beats and how beats sound and things like that. Just the quality of things. Um, Started taking things in more inspiration from anywhere that I can. Trying not to run out of ideas, trying not to drive the well up. So I've been more tedious, you know.
So you were talking a little bit about influences. So who are your three biggest influences?
Shout out Jermaine Dupri. Shout out 50 Cent, and shout out um Outkast.
So why do you think so? Like why? I don't know. Like for example, 50 Cent, right? I'm a huge fan of 50 Cent, but whenever I ask people this question, no one has ever brought up 50 Cent. I've interviewed a lot of people, so why 50 Cent?
I think his ability to remain himself, a street, while becoming one of the biggest artists in the world for that time period. Um, it's kind of a balance that everyone should not just to remain a street, but to remain themselves, period, and not forget where they came from.
So you released a new song.
Yeah.
That, first off, that's it's really funny. Like one of the funniest songs I've heard all year. Um, it's kind of out of pocket. So that's a hot take. So I was just curious why you decided to make that track.
People kept asking for it. They wanted me to because the whole politics thing, the whole anti-colonialism thing, the imperialism thing. So they was like, the queen just died, celebrate it. I was like, all right, bet. And I just had that beat sitting around. So, I just got up on there, I freestyled. I ain't even write nothing down. I just punched in a bunch of times and just, it wasn't, I didn't want to make nothing too damn serious. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm fresh off the album. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. You don't want to sit here and give a 10-minute song about colonialism and the ills of monarchy. You know what I mean? You want to have a good time. We want to celebrate the Queen's death. So I'm gonna try to be lighthearted and funny about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, I agree. Like if you made like a 10-minute long diss track on the Queen right after her death, that would be kind of distasteful. But I don't know, you're just kind of poking at it in a satirical way, which is cool. I like that. Are you inherently a political individual?
Yeah, I pretty much haven't been a point in my life where I wasn't, you know, just involved or aware. My parents were, you know what I mean? So their friends were, so by extension, my friends, their friends' children's were, it's like it's nothing really I could escape from.
You're from Philly, right?
Yeah.
So I've never been down to Philly. So what is the rap scene like in Philly?
It's scattered. I'm not gonna lie. You have you got your Meek Mills, you got your Will Smiths, you got your little Uzis, you got the people that can make it out every once in a while, but it's not like I wouldn't say there's a solid movement or scene there. You know, you got your Tierra Wax or whatever, but like those are all individuals. You know what I mean? That just, worked
Yeah, they sort of
or they
they
were discovered or you know what I mean? We ain't never
yeah.
really put each other on. You know what I mean? Um, I think, you got Diamond Cuts and all them that, do their damnedest, but it's like I don't know. It doesn't feel like a New York. It doesn't feel like an Atlanta. It doesn't feel like an LA. It always feels like a subsidiary of New York. You know what I'm saying? Or a subsidiary of Chicago. I don't know. I feel like our gatekeepers and our spearheads of the movement here aren't really that powerful in other areas. You know what I'm saying? Um, I could be wrong though, but it just feels like, everybody that I know around here that raps, they're kind of stuck in the neighborhood. So.
No, that's definitely fair. You know, Boston is kind of like that in a way.
Mhm.
So what do you think that you personally can do to sort of change that, if you can?
I like putting folks on. I like being trusted and respected. You know what I mean? Doing favors, getting favors done. Just making sure that we all can have some cohesion. That way, if one of us goes up, by extension, one of the other one's name just comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like hard to focus on one person and ignore the rest of the scene. You know what I mean? You gotta, do it all together. So I think just something as basic as that, but of course there's nuances to it and all that shit. But just on the surface level, that's what I think.
So who are some other Philly artists that you think I should check out?
Shout out to homie Mal Griffey. He's my engineer, but he does production too. Shout out Yola. He did a couple chord beats. Soundbender Yola. He did a couple chord beats, some Quilly Mill beats. It's pretty fire. Shout out my man's Ajer. Real good singer, real talented boy. Perseus. I just did a show with Perseus and my homie Alan from Earth. So check them out.
Do you perform a lot?
Not as much as I would like, definitely. I only did since the album came out, probably 4 or 5 shows. I want to do so much more though. Especially like the Philly one I just had. That was my first time doing. No, second time in Philly technically because I did a Love Park one back when Black Bolshevik dropped. The Philly one that I just did just 2 days ago. That was very hype. I loved it. So I want to do more like basement parties and shows like that.
Nice, man. Nice. How has that been like since the Needle Drop review? Because that's a huge platform to be featured on. When I saw
Yeah.
that, I was kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, it's cool. That's really cool. But how has that been post Needle Drop review?
It's been pretty good. I mean, of course, I appreciated him and I appreciated the review. Despite others thinking that I appreciated it too much, but I appreciate all perspectives and what people got to say about my music. So it's nothing special about him. It's just his platform was really helpful. Brought a couple weirdos in, of course, but can't help that. But yeah, I mean, it's been good. People telling me, you're at a point that people spend years and years and years trying to get to, and you got there in 1 year. So like,
Hmm.
be grateful, and I'm very grateful about it.
How do you think you're going to capitalize on this sort of?
I'm gonna try and do. I want to get a tour done for the. It's only been a month, so I know it's not too late to get a tour started. I really want to get a tour done, and honestly, it's not gonna be too long until I drop another album. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna be. You know how Kanye dropped College Dropout, and then like a year and a half later, he dropped Late Registration. It's probably like that. Or I can be like DMX. You know how he dropped Dark. It's dark as hell, and dark and hell is hot. And then he drops Flesh of My Flesh literally like 6 months after.
You should come to Boston if you do that mini tour. I know it's kind of a hike, so
Oh
no hard
yeah, no,
feelings if you do.
it's been no. I'm going to Nebraska in like a week, so I really don't mind doing the travel.
My man is going to Nebraska. Why? Like what?
It's the Lincoln Calling Festival. One of the organizers just happened to hear my music and was like, "Yo, you want to do this?" I was like, "Bet." Like out of all the people, Arm& Hammer is gonna be there. It's so random, but it's pretty cool.
That's really cool. I did not know that Nebraska had a thriving music scene. That is actually kind of a little bit wild. Um,
Yeah.
but that's really cool that you're gonna drop another album. Have you already started working on it?
Nah, just making beats whenever I can. I'm still trying to get used to being. I'm not as busy as I could be, but I'm still kind of busy. Balance that between hanging out and between, making the music, between doing other types of hustles like the merch and all that stuff. So now I haven't really, I really want to start, what I really want to do is get like an advance or like a good amount of money and just sit in the studio for like 6 months, have people come in and out and stuff like that.
Yeah, go on that grind. I noticed on your last album you really didn't have a lot of features. So is that something you're going to incorporate into the next one?
Definitely. I think I so one of the Fantano critiques that he had about my album was song structure and songwriting. And that's something I'm glad that he kind of confirmed it for me because it's something that I already had in mind. And it's something that the more I think about it, I kind of chalk it up to the fact that I don't really have a lot of help. Whenever I try to get some help, folks they don't come through. So you end up a lot of ideas get unfinished. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to have that person do that one extra verse for you because you can't really think of another verse or to play this instrument for you, I'm definitely trying to, collaborate a lot more.
So something when I think about your album, right? I'm just thinking about it. There were some weird or kind of out there song names. So I was just curious why you named it that way. Is it that do you want to have people like look at the song name and be like, "Oh, I'm going to click on this"? Is that where you're doing it, or is it just because like it's a random song name?
Well, it's multiple reasons. I mean, first, of course, you want to capture, names, the whole provocative thing and all that. So that's definitely a reason. It's also sometimes, I approach things like, okay, I can't cover this specific topic in this one song, but at the very least, I can get people hip to the idea of it. So I'm just going to name it something that relates to this idea. That way, I can get people to research it or Google it or do some sort of work towards trying to understand that title. And sometimes it relates to the song, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on my mood, depends, on a lot of different things. But yeah, that's pretty much how I approach it. Um,
So
I
when
always
you
try to
said,
keep it relevant, but funny at the same time.
yeah, those are all my questions that I had for you today. Thank you so much for coming on, man. What are before I leave, before I go, what are some of your social medias that people should like check out?
I am Ghais Guevara on every platform. GhaisGuevara. Twitter, Instagram, what I'm usually on. And then GhaisGuevara.net is my website. So, if you want to buy merch or read about me, that's where you can do it.
Hey everyone, it's Charlie DeShulo here. In the original airing of this interview, I could not air these bonus questions because of profanity and because I ran out of time. However, I think it is really funny and definitely does add to his character. So please enjoy these bonus questions.
So when you said that you want to name it something that you can't really talk about in a song, can you give me an example?
Uh, like I personally wouldn't have released John McCain. Like I mean, I can't sit here and go as to why. That'd be a boring song. You know what I'm saying? But at least people look at the title and be like, "Damn, what the fuck did John McCain do?" You know what I mean? And they Google that shit and they're like, "Oh, this dude's a piece of shit, despite him being a whatever war hero, whatever the fuck. He did some very shitty things." I could see why Gais feels the way he feels. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you're the king of hot takes. Not saying that, not saying that's a bad take. Just saying that's a
nah, I feel
that's
you.
a hot take.
Yeah, I feel you.
Uh, that Queen disc is kind of a hot take. I was curious if you had, since you are inherently a political individual, do you have any other hot takes?
Uh, Strictly towards politics or just hot
Just
takes,
just in
period?
just in general.
I was in the middle of making the beat tape. My brain was just shut off. I don't know. You give me an example that I can bounce off of. Like, what's one of
Okay.
yours?
One of my hot takes. Okay, I really dislike Starburst. I don't
Really
know
dislike
why.
Starburst?
Yeah, like I don't fuck with Starburst. Like they're disgusting.
Okay.
They're nasty. Um, I don't
All
know.
right. I fucking hate Kit Kats. Well, we'll go with that. I,
You
I
hate Kit
hate Kit
Kats?
Kats. I think they're the
Yeah.
worst chocolate that you could ever eat.
How, man? They have the crunch, and you snap it. That shit slaps.
It's not, it's dry. It's like, what's the enjoyment behind that shit? It's weird. Like, and then it's
Are you?
like only like four of them. Like, what? I'm trying to indulge myself, and you only give me four fucking cookies. Like, it's just awful.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. The dollar to bar ratio is it's completely
Exactly.
off.
Exactly. You feel me? You feel me?
So I don't know if you knew this, but on your Spotify, right? This is going back to like your newest song. Your third biggest city that streams you is actually London. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that. I got a lot of love over in Europe, period. But UK definitely. I don't know how the hell that happened, but
Bro, you're on a fucking blacklist now.
yeah.
After that shit, you're gonna go over for the tour and it's gonna be like, you're the
I'm
man that
performing there. If I ever do a fucking song, if I ever go to London, I'm gonna perform that song in London. I really don't give a fuck. They don't got guns there. Who the fuck gonna check me?
yeah, that is a valid point. Um